Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, while making an address during an insurance conference held recently in Lagos, urged insurance operators in Nigeria to take advantage of ongoing efforts by the government to grow the non-oil sector of the economy through innovations. For an in-depth analysis of this sector, Olusegun Omoseyin, the Managing Director of Old Mutual Nigeria Life Insurance, is with me in our Lagos studios. Thank you so much for coming. Good morning. I'm interested about the insurance sector penetration. It always comes like a mantra. How do we need to grow it? But let's talk about the mechanism that the insurance sector needs to thrive, like your cousins, the banks.
Thank you. Essentially, the insurance industry has witnessed what I'll call as an integral part of the financial services sector, has not been as fortunate like the banking cousins, right, so to speak, because we've seen a situation where the advantages of consolidation that had been enjoyed by banking has not actually to a large extent spread to the insurance sector. And we see a huge gap in that regard. So what are the mechanisms, therefore, that can give us that leeway? One, we see increased collaboration with other sectors of the economy. Take, for instance, telecoms. We see a greater adoption of technology as an enabler to taking the insurance sector to its desired height. Also, part of what we'll be looking at is in the area of perhaps increased regulation or for lack of a better word, more the idea of getting operators to be better prepared in terms of their capital adequacy, in terms of their ability to engage, with their chosen market and give the kind of experience, that they desire.
Yes, the insurance penetration in terms of getting more people to have either life or whatever kind of a coverage one way or the other. You work for an organization, it's one of the oldest financial services firm in the world, which is with your foundation outside, but that's Old Mutual. So when you look at developed market like the UK and elsewhere, you're looking at the insurance sector in Nigeria, tell me what needs to change. You talk about this collaboration with the fintech industry, for example, the big telcos who have hundreds of millions and billions of us in terms of coverage. What relationship in specific terms would you like to see? Would you want folks to buy airtime or buy a SIM card and there's an insurance package attached to it? Do we need to, what does NICOM need to do to handmaiden you, the operators, with these other sectors you're talking about?
Okay, thank you. I think one major problem we've seen in the insurance space has been lack of insurance education. And this, to a large extent, has dealt with the ability of the market to really penetrate, or the sector to really penetrate the market and spread beyond the urban centers, going to hinterland. So partnering with telcos, what it will do is, because these guys, the huge telecom companies, even mobile money providers and all of that, gives us an advantage, will give us an advantage, the opportunity to really reach out to the mass, of the people, and then would thereby increase financial inclusion. And then we'll be able to, the penetration rate of insurance will then be able to improve.
Is it more about education among the people or the culture of believing that insurance, they believe they need banks? By the way, they need to keep money somewhere and take it out somehow, then put it under the pillow. But insurance, even when you have major, very unfortunate incidents like fire, Tejo market years ago, at Alade market some years ago, or the spare part markets, and you still see folks not embracing asset coverage in terms of insurance. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, like you said. I think the challenge really is that of education, is that of insurance education. If you look at the examples you cited, like the Ladipo spare part market, the Alade market, the Tejuosho, Balogun market, and the Aba and Waterview, quite a number of them. These are significant incidences that should naturally have brought some consciousness to the people. So I guess also perhaps the way we've been communicating this to the people needs to change. You know, for me, I think the communication of the insurance awareness needs to change, really. And also part of what I think is the religious belief, the traditional religious belief of some of our folks that nothing will happen to me, I have God, right? Yes, we have God, but essentially we also need to realize the fact that these are daily life experiences that even God expects you to be able to make provisions for. So how then do we communicate this in a clear pattern of language to our people? There are situations now that you found out that, for instance, there's what we call Takafu insurance. Takafu is an insurance product that is designed using the language of Islamic doctrines and what have you to address that aspect of our religious belief. And also, I think insurance institutions should begin to look at ways of partnering with churches, you know, in being able to push ahead. I'm beginning
to think in that direction, because if the NIA, which is the umbrella body for you operators in insurance, could say, look, if you go individually to talk to these shop owners or retail owners on an individual basis when they're busy making money, you're the last person they want to see, you're the last person they want to talk, you're getting in their way because they're busy making money. When accidents and fire incidents happen, everybody starts running around to their banks looking for how to get back on their feet. Yeah. Perhaps if we talk to the ESCOs, the Association of Ladipo Markets, or Okari Market, and you go talk to their ESCOs, and amongst them, you're likely going to find a few folks, and many of them who are well educated. You'll be surprised, who are graduates, MSc, BSc, whatever. And perhaps you could take that from that level and get them to talk to their members. Rather than an individual salesperson from Old Mutual, from another one coming to me and say, yeah, boss, we want you to have an insurance. Oh, yeah, I'm just having some snacks here. I'm having some good time. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Maybe that could be an approach, like you talk about the Takafu, then we go through the religious bodies. Maybe we'll go through these business groups and then begin to approach it from that point of view. If you talk to the Market Women Association of Nigeria, and they could take it down individually, in Aba, in Area, in Onitsha, in Enugu, Newi, Oka, whatever. And maybe that will help, because it looks like individual efforts are selling insurance to ordinary market women. They see you as a nuisance at that particular point in time. But that takes me, that's on one part. Let's talk about the car accidents, which is another point.
Okay. Thank you. I agree with you on the first part of the analysis around partnering with churches and religious institutions and all what have you. I tell you, one of the greatest adverts I think I saw on social media for insurance came through one of the most respected pastors that I personally like, when he was talking to his church member, to his congregation, and, you know, sort of charging them on the need for them to make provision for financial protection. I found that very amazing. As a matter of fact, I think that clip should have been one of the best adverts for insurance, for the insurance industry. Now, back to the issue of motor accident you talked about. Well, I think third-party motor insurance has been made compulsory by the law since 1945.
For those who own cars.
Government made it compulsory.
For those who own cars.
For those who own cars.
The majority of Nigerians don't own cars.
But for those that do not also own cars, the usage of a car could actually cause some sort of damage or liability to non-drivers.
Yes,
you know, because passengers and what have you. That is why the provision was made in the law that before you put your car on the road, you have a minimum cover, which is a third party. Third party cover by definition is cover for the other party, not you. Right? Protect the other person.
And that's what it means in layman's language.
Layman's language. You know, protect the other man. You know, protect the other person, his property and what have you.
So it's not for you, the one who's driving.
In the usage of your car. So if you want to cover your own vehicle, then you must go for a comprehensive, something more enlarged than the top party.
Covers you and other road users,
and other road users,
or someone
or
in the
passengers,
other
or what have you. You know, but now come to think of it, the law has been there. Has the law been effective? I would say, well, to a large extent, but the enforcement has been a problem. Now, the enforcement of that provision of the law has been a major battle for the industry. Yes, we are partnering with, as an industry, with enforcement agencies, both across the federal and state institutions.
Who are these enforcement agencies?
The Nigerian police, for instance, federal road safety, at the federal level. At the state level, you have the vehicle inspection officers,
So if
the
a particular
VIOs.
insurance company has XY thousands or millions of car insurance, third party, but the folks are not paying up, how do you enforce it, for example?
Unfortunately, we do not have the powers to enforce.
NIA cannot enforce.
NIA cannot
NICOM
enforce.
cannot enforce.
NICOM,
So
unfortunately, with the current regulation, cannot enforce.
So in
it's
the
those
manner you have
agencies
to leave
that
it
can
with
enforce.
the agencies of the government.
Yes.
And these security agencies could stand at the roadside corner and a lot of funny things could go on.
Part of the challenge the industry has been having, right? But essentially, we can't just leave it at that. We keep working at it, and I think there are lots of activities going on.
This point, you should be able, at this point, respectfully, sir, to move through the NIA, go to the National Assembly, and say, could you give us some powers in which we can enforce? If you're not paying up on your insurance claim, is there anything that you can craft out very nicely to enforce?
Well, thank you. I think all of this will be better captured by the new bill that is being put together at the National Assembly. It's called the Consolidated Insurance Bill, which is
like an omnibus?
A private member bill putting together all the various insurance legislation under one umbrella, including the NICOM bill, which is the National Insurance Commission Act, is being put together. So this will then give the regulator, for instance, the teeth to bite, not just to bite.
That's what I'm looking at.
So we're hopeful that if it has gone through public hearing, and we're hopeful that by the time this is eventually
put... and NIA to bite like the central bank. Look, if you have an account and you don't have your BVN or your accounts or the papers you don't fill up, you can't access the account. You can't take $1 out of it. You can't put a naira in or out of it. We want the insurance sector to be able to bite. And until it starts to bite, Nigerians will continue to find a way around it. But there's a bigger business on our front, because using technology to improve insurance. How well are you guys doing about that? You're an old mutual. Are you sure you have anything new on the table?
We have quite a lot new on the table in that regard.
Tell me briefly.
For us, we see the future of insurance in automation and digitization. And this is where massively we are making our investment to see how we can position our brand, being who we are, to be able to take full advantage of this within the Nigerian space. Like Old Mutual has 2 operating entities, insurance entities in the country, both the life and the general insurance. And what we've done is to have gone ahead to adequately recapitalize the 2 businesses, even well ahead of the minimum. And then we're sort of engaging and partnering with insurtechs, so to speak, technology companies, such that we will be able to change the interaction process, of consumers in this market.
Should make it first. The banks, your cousins are feeling the heat from fintech now. They're going to come after you after they come after the banking guys. So keep that in mind. It's just a very friendly advice. What about the insurance sector? How do you view the AFCFTA? Are you guys beginning to position for that?
Okay.
Because it's going to come upon you.
Thank you. I think the African continental free trade area was actually founded, was the offshoot of African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which was an agreement signed by about 54 members of AU nations out of the 55. So it came on in 2018, and I think the trading commenced 1st of January 2021. Clearly, the focus is very simple. It's meant to create an opportunity where we can have a single market, a single continental market where there will be free movement of goods and services across people and investment.
Thank you so much. Let's take this conversation further some other time. Thank you very much, Olusegun Omoseyin of Old Mutual.